Can you imagine a starving widow, a drought-stricken land, and a shocking request from a stranger, a prophet of God, who asks for the very last of her food? You're standing in her sandals now, holding a handful of flour and a bit of oil, knowing this is all you have to keep you and your child alive. But here comes Elijah, sent by God with a bold, almost unbelievable command: make me a small loaf first. 1 Kings 17 verse 13. Wait, what? You're thinking this sounds crazy, shouldn't he be the one helping her? Yet this is where the hidden power of obedience meets the miraculous. God's word through Elijah carries a divine promise. The jar of flour will not be used up, and the jug of oil will not run dry until the day the Lord sends rain on the land. 1 Kings 17 verse 14. This is not just a story, it's a challenge to you. What would you do if God asked for your last, your only, your everything? Here's the first insight. God's provision often comes in the form of a test. The widow's willingness to trust Elijah is a lesson in faith for you today. It wasn't about the flour or the oil, it was about her heart. Romans 8 verse 28 reminds you that all things work together for good, but often, that good starts with your step of trust in impossible circumstances. Are you secretly clinging to your own last jar of flour, thinking it's all you have? The warning here is clear. If you hoard what you think is your security, you might miss the overflow God has waiting for you. The second insight is even more profound. God's abundance begins where your resources end. The widow's story is a mirror of the miraculous provision Jesus demonstrated when he fed 5,000 with a boy's lunch, 5 loaves and 2 fish, John 6 verse 9. It's the same principle at work. When you place what little you have in God's hands, it multiplies beyond your wildest imagination. But here's the secret. She didn't know how long the drought would last. Every day she dipped into that jar and poured from that jug. It was an act of faith, believing God's promise anew. Are you willing to trust God daily, even when you can't see the end of the trial? Next, consider this shocking truth. Obedience to God can position you to bless others beyond yourself. The widow didn't just survive. Her obedience sustained the prophet Elijah, who carried God's message to a nation in desperate need of revival. Think of Matthew 5 verse 16. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Your willingness to obey God in what seems small can create a ripple effect, touching lives you may never even meet. But let's not miss the ultimate insight hidden in this story. God's promises are never empty. The jar of flour and jug of oil became symbols of his unchanging faithfulness. Psalm 37 verse 25 declares, I have never seen the righteous forsaken or their children begging bread. This is your assurance too. When God speaks, he delivers. His word doesn't return void, Isaiah 55 verse 11. So ask yourself, what jar and jug are you overlooking in your life? What resources, talents, or time has God already placed in your hands, waiting for you to trust him? Here's your challenge. Take this story of miraculous provision and make it personal. Share in the comments a time when you trusted God with your last jar of flour and witnessed his provision. Let's build a community of faith by sharing and learning from each other's experiences. Remember, this isn't just about what God did in Zarephath, it's about what he's ready to do in your life right now. So, subscribe, like, comment, and share to keep this conversation alive and spread the message of God's faithfulness far and wide. Your story could be the miracle someone else is waiting to hear.